So in a lot of videos, I talk about positive reinforcement training, or clicker training, or targeting is what I usually use. Sunny, what are you doing? I'm out with 3 little minis that I've been training for several years now. They were actually my very first training clients when they were just weanlings. And so they are very familiar with positive reinforcement training. So when I say positive reinforcement, that just means that when they do a desired behavior, they get a reward, primarily in my case, a food reward, which is a treat. A lot of people know this as like clicker training. I used to use a clicker a lot more than I do now. It's just cumbersome to have a clicker all the time. So when I say clicker training, it's kind of a misnomer because I don't use a clicker. But what you do is you mark the behavior that you want. So for these guys, when they're doing a behavior that I want, my marker is I say yes. And they know that that means you're doing the correct behavior, a treat will be delivered shortly. And that becomes very useful, like when you're working on stuff like feet, because I can say that marker word when they have their foot up in the air and I'm holding it and they understand, oh yes, this is the behavior I want. She wants that foot up. That's what gets me the treat. Because a lot of times with traditional training, you put the foot down, you say, oh, good donkey, you give a treat. Well, they learn to associate putting that foot down with getting the treat. So this way you're marking for the correct behavior when the foot is in the air, and they learn, oh, the foot up is what gets me the treat. So the first behavior, my foundation behavior that I teach with positive reinforcement training is a hand target or hand touch. I'll use those kind of interchangeably. And all that is they touch their nose to your hand. So I always have treats on me. They're in a pouch. They're not in my hands. I never have a treat in my hand when I'm training. And I will stand, depending on the donkey, and they learn, they're very curious animals. So I have my hand and they touch it. As soon as they touch it, you mark. You can either click if you have a clicker, or I say yes. So as soon as she touches, yes. I'll say yes. I go into my pouch. I deliver a treat with her head straight forward. I want the treat out away from me. I don't want to feed right on top of my treat pouch because that will make pushy, grabby donkeys. I also never give treats willy-nilly. Treats only get delivered when we're working. When I'm just out hanging out with donkeys, they get ear rubs, they get butt scratches. They do not get treats. They don't get treats for being cute. They get treats for doing a desired, asked for behavior. So I'll hold my hand out. They touch. Yes. As soon as she touches it, I say yes, and I deliver the treat. The treat doesn't have to be instant. It has to be within a few seconds. So you don't have the treat ready, poison ready, because when you're doing stuff like feet, you're going to say that yes, but then you're going to put the foot down and then come around and deliver the treat. So they know that yes means a treat is coming momentarily, but not instantly. So again, hand out. As soon as she touches, yes. And if she opens her mouth, that's okay. I'll just move my hand up towards the bridge of her nose more, so she has to bump it with the top of her nose. Now we'll say Joey. Yes. Sunny. Yes. And once your donkey's reliably touching your hand and they understand that a treat is coming afterwards, you can add the cue touch. So then you present your hand, you say touch, touch. Yes. And as soon as they touch it, you say yes and deliver a treat. And I will say good donkey or good girl or good boy, and that just means that yes, you're on the right, or means you're on the right track, but a treat is not coming. So they learn like, oh yes, good, and versus yes, like a treat is coming. Hi. And once they're doing that consistently, then you can actually have them start to follow a hand target. So these guys will all follow a hand target. That's why I taught them to do initially, is they follow a hand target. So you have them leading without any pressure. Good. I know Joey's in the way. Without any pulling them. It's more of a play behavior. Reba, are you helping? Are you helping? I know you guys are kind of pissed. You guys are kind of pissy. And it becomes kind of a game. But that's the basics of it. And I use, like I said, I use that. You can teach that one. It teaches them your foundation behavior, which is your hand touch. I use that when I'm teaching new obstacles, when I'm teaching to lead, trailer loading. It becomes a really good default behavior. But it teaches them the marking. So when you say yes, that it means a good behavior, a treat is on the way. And it also just kind of teaches them that, hey, this person gives me treats, but not just for obnoxious behaviors. Like I have to do something to earn a treat. Hi guys. And eventually, like with donkeys, especially wild donkeys, I 100% buy their affection with treats at first. I 100% admit that. Especially with wild ones, nothing we do, when we scratch them and stuff, most donkeys don't enjoy that at first. They're like, get the heck away from me, you scary predator. So I pair scary stuff with a treat, and then eventually they actually do start to like me. And it's not just the treats they're after, but they do actually enjoy my company. Hi, hello, hello, you little babies, you little babies. And these guys are so cute. I've seen them grow from little 6-month-olds into now I think they're about 3. So it's been about 2.5 years. And they're little rock stars. Their owner owns a preschool here, so they work with the kids lead them around. They're just, can you rest your head on my back? They're just really cool, sweet little donkeys. Little minis.